I'm Richard Dodd, and you're listening to the Ecology Academy podcast. This is a show where we get to talk and learn about all things ecological, including interviews with top ecologists, both employers and employees, those working with ecologists, and also aspiring and inspiring career-seeking individuals setting out to make a difference. The show aims to provide you with insights, advice, and inspiration to help you succeed and excel as an effective ecologist and to make a real difference to our natural environment. Hello and welcome to the Ecology Academy podcast. Now today it's just me, Richard Dodd. I'm going to be your host and we're going to be diving into a topic that it actually means a lot to me, and that is the role of coaching and mentoring. So we're going to look at the differences and similarities between the two. Now, both coaching and mentoring are powerful tools. I've used them both in my personal and professional development. They share common goals, develop skills, for instance, enhance performance and facilitate growth, but they can approach these from different angles. And understanding these differences can help us make the most of these relationships and identify us, whether we need a coach or a mentor or a mixture of the two. Now, just so we're clear, so during this podcast, we're going to look at defining the coaching and mentoring. So discussing the definitions of coaching and mentoring, what do they mean, and how are they typically implemented. Also, we'll look at the role of a coach and the role of a mentor. How do they differ? What are the similarities? Explore, there's the differences in the roles that the individuals take on board, and what responsibilities does each role entail. We're going to look at applications of coaching and mentoring, discussing the different scenarios where coaching and mentoring can be applied, and how you as an individual or you within your company can benefit from these methods. How to choose between a coach and a mentor, providing guidance on how to decide whether a coach or a mentor is more suitable for a person's specific needs. Looking at my own examples, so I'm going to share a couple of stories from my own coaching and mentoring relationships, what made these relationships successful, and also what you as my listener can learn from them. We're going to look at challenges in coaching and mentoring, discussing potential challenges in coaching and mentoring relationships and how to overcome them. And finally, how to find a coach or a mentor. So I'm going to provide a couple of tips, my own advice on how to find a suitable coach or mentor. What should listeners look for in a potential coach or mentor? So let's kick off straight away with defining the role for each of these for the coach and mentor, really. So, you're going to have your own definition of what a coach and mentor is, but after a little bit of research, I'll read out some dictionary definitions of coaching, so a couple of for each. So coaching, first of all, coaching is a process that aims to improve performance and focuses on the here and now rather than on the distant past or future. It is a partnership between the coach and the individual that supports the achievement of results based on goals set by the individual. So that's one definition. Another definition is coaching is a professional relationship that helps people produce extraordinary results in their lives, careers, business or organizations, helping them to bridge the gap between where they are now and where they want to be. Now, you may agree or disagree or have your own sort of definition of what coaching is. Now, mentoring. So a couple of definitions for mentoring. Mentoring is a relationship in which a more experienced or knowledgeable person helps to guide a less experienced or less knowledgeable person. The mentor may be older or younger than the person being mentored, but they must have a certain area of expertise. So there you go, there's one slight difference there. Second definition, mentoring is a process for the informal transmission of knowledge, social capital, and the psychosocial support perceived by the recipient as relevant to work, career, or professional development. Mentoring entails informal communication, usually face-to-face and during a sustained period of time, between a person who is perceived to have a greater relevant knowledge, wisdom or experience, that's the mentor, and a person who is perceived to have less, the protege or mentee. So, okay, that's the definitions of coaching and mentoring. Now, throughout our lives, we're going to have different sort of requirements for the need for maybe a coach or the need for a mentor, or maybe even probably both at the same time. So when do these roles switch round? So I suppose we're looking at the role now of each of the coach or the mentor, and I think coaching, for me, coaching can help with maybe seeing your clients through multiple psychological lenses, helping understand or work with maybe neurodivergent clients or colleagues, or understanding and building your resilience, having difficult conversations at work, coping with loss, uncertainty and grief, or perhaps how to leave your job on good terms. So I think those are some areas where coaching can help, and you can see maybe a bit of crossover with mentoring there. But I think mentoring can certainly help you with the skills, behaviours related to your career and business development. And a mentor can provide guidance and offer solutions, or provide suggestions on how to resolve an issue or how to develop a particular skill. So I think the role, you have to be quite defined about what you want to get out of your relationship. Is it something that you want to learn and get better at? Therefore, you may want a mentor to help you with that. So something like working towards your bat license, for instance, someone, or maybe your botanical skills, how to get the best out of them, where to go on the different courses, maybe how to implement those. Maybe going to a mentor will help you with that, to your career development, give you advice there. Whereas if it is more about your own inner beliefs, and challenging those, maybe looking at things from a different perspective, things that may not necessarily advance your career in terms of a particular skill, although everything could be a particular skill and therefore learnt. I say the psychological elements to our work, how to deal with obtrusive clients and colleagues, how to get that pay rise. Now, how do you give yourself that self-belief? And these may be elements of certain coaching that come in, because I think they can be quite subjective, offer different opinions, and you may have your own thoughts, but you want to seek advice of others. And I think that's the role of a coach, can help you bring those elements out, asking you the challenging questions that maybe you haven't thought for yourself. So, that's the sort of difference between the role of a coach and a mentor, and you may have your own perceived ideas of what that may be. So, when could you use it? What the applications of coaching and mentoring? Now, I've got a few suggestions here. So, a professional coach, for instance, can assist you in a wide range of areas depending on their expertise and particularly your needs. So career development. So you may have a career coach. They can help you identify your strengths, your interest, your motivations, your values, and align these with your career goals, for instance. They can assist you in making career decisions, transitioning perhaps to a new career, or advancing in your current career, or as mentioned before, actually even leaving that career, that job, to actually go and seek somewhere else. So your career development. They could also, depending upon your, where you are on your journey, your leadership skills. So leadership coaches, for instance, may focus on developing your leadership abilities. They can help improve your decision-making skills, manage teams more effectively, how to communicate better, and develop a leadership style that suits you. There may be performance requirements, performance improvements. So performance coaches, for instance, or advice or coaching on performance will help work with you to enhance your skills and abilities in your current role. They can help you set and achieve performance goals, manage time effectively, and maybe improve your productivity. So there's tips and tools that they could use there to enhance your performance, for instance. Now, of course, it's not just all work, it's also life as well. So life coaches, you've probably heard of these. And so they can help you achieve your personal goals and improve your overall quality of life. So they can assist with like that, that work-life balance that often eludes us, stress management, personal growth, and self-confidence. There's also, if you are a business owner or an executive, for instance, there is that type of coaching, executive coaching. So they work with high-level professionals to enhance their leadership skills, decision making and strategic planning. They can also help with change management, improving team dynamics, and navigating often complex, organizational politics. If we want to improve our health and well-being, the coaches will help us with our physical and mental health. They can help develop a fitness plan, for instance, improve your diet, manage your stress, and achieve a healthier lifestyle. Money is important to us, so financial coaching, they can help you with your finances, create a budget, maybe plan for a retirement, looking at your pensions, for instance, or navigate financial challenges, particularly relevant at this time with the cost of living, and also if anyone does have a mortgage, remortgaging. I think that's something we can help with. So it's not just about a mortgage advice or a financial advice. It's actually about that coaching, how your relationship with money. And finally for me anyway, business coaching. So this is an area where I think I've had most support. So so helping me, so first of all, starting or running a business, creating business plans, marketing, sales, and other aspects of running a business, which is huge. So that's the area that I've had most support on, most coaching in. So, and the effectiveness of coaching often depends on the rapport or the trust between the coach and the individual. So it's important that you find a coach who understands your needs and goals. Sometimes you'll find one straight away. Other times it may be that you need to work on that relationship as well. So it's not just think that you get a coach and that's it, you're stuck with them. It's a bit like, you're choosing the right person to help you, your individual style, your individual learning needs. So, choosing the right coach can certainly help there. You don't need to just choose one. And also you can have multiple coaches at the same time, depending on, I say, whether it is for your personal or actually professional business, fitness, finance, whatever it is, multiple different coaches. Now, how about the roles of and applications of actually a mentor? So they can provide you guidance and support in similar areas, a variety of areas, depending on their expertise and your needs. Again, career guidance, so they can share their experiences, provide advice on career progression, and help you navigate the complexities of your own organisation. They can assist with job transitions, promotions, and longer-term career planning. So, it gives you that in-house sort of feel. A mentor tends to be someone you either know. Usually you probably have your line manager who may be your mentor. Now, it's professional skills development. Clearly, comes in where, training and development, so they can help you improve your professional skills, such as leadership, communication, negotiation, and strategical thinking. But there's also can provide you with information on that, advancements of maybe your career as a botanist or an entomologist, something that's actually very specific to what you want to achieve. So that may be in-house or it may be external. For instance, that if you're if you're the owner of a business or if you're an employee and you want to bring in a different skill within your company or develop a new skill, you may need to seek that elsewhere, and you're probably going to go to someone who actually has that experience, can give you the highs and lows of that and pass that information on. Networking, so mentors can obviously help you introduce you to other people, so in their professional field. So for instance, when I mentor people, that if there's a particular skill that I don't particularly have, hopefully I'll know someone who does have that skill and make that introduction. So that can either be direct, face to face, or it can actually be via something like LinkedIn, for instance. Work-life balances, so mentors can actually provide advice about working with your demands of work, your capacity management, for instance, dealing with that stress, that personal life based on their own experiences, how they manage to deal with, how they prioritize things at work, how do they sort of manage those workloads, and what skills have they learnt that may be useful to you. Personal growth, for instance, a mentor can help you develop greater self-awareness, confidence, and resilience. Yes, that's that word yet again, the resilience. They can challenge the way you think. So they can help set your personal goals and encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. Leadership development. So if you're in a leadership role or if you aspire to be a leader, a mentor can provide guidance on effective leadership. So for instance, if you are transitioning from being maybe an assistant ecologist to a consultant or into a senior principal level roles, a mentor can help you understand what that level requires. So you can assess it yourself. Go, actually, what can I bring to that level, that role, or what do I need to actually be aware of that role? I didn't realise that I'd have to be actually praising other people, mentoring other people myself. How can I do that? So I think that's a great idea. Great sort of use of a mentor is that transition between the different levels, different roles there. And of course, ethical guidance, so mentors can provide guidance on professional ethics and decision making, helping you navigate the sort of complex ethical dilemmas in your career. So that could be, challenging aspects in terms of your relationship with maybe a colleague at work or a professional relationship with a client. We've had those scenarios where maybe you're out on site, discover something that maybe looks like it's an unlawful situation. What do you do? Do you tell them to work straight away, or do you have to go away and think about things? Do you just leave it? What are those decisions you actually make? And also about your own career. Do you go, okay, well, I may not be comfortable with the areas I'm working in, but I'm willing to sacrifice part of my own values, for instance, to actually gain in the longer term in terms of my career. So the relationship usually can be long-term, and it's most beneficial when the mentor and mentee have shared interests, values, or career paths. So I think those are just the different areas between coaching and mentoring. So how do you choose between a coach and a mentor? And I think it's getting to be a bit, maybe a little bit more transparent and obvious now that it depends upon where you are in your career, your personal life, what you want to achieve from that. So is it something very specific about maybe, you want to gain someone's knowledge and experience and understand how they went through a challenge, or, and giving advice about, their thoughts and insights. So you're probably going to look towards a mentor for that. And I say it could be in-house, so internal mentor, maybe a senior member of your team, for instance. But it doesn't have to be a senior member of your team. It's someone who's gone through that experience themselves. So don't just look to a senior member of the team. It could be actually someone who is actually newer to the organisation, but has gone through the elements that you're going through as well. You want to seek their advice. So it can be a two-way street as well. So don't think it's just just one. You have to look above you. Look around you to see who can be your best mentor. And sometimes those mentors are people who've just joined your organisation. They may have different life experiences that you can actually that you can actually relate to or want to understand. Whereas if it's something that's maybe quite challenging in terms of your own limiting beliefs, and we all have these little confidence gremlins on our shoulders, so dealing with maybe a difficult client, and how would you actually transition from being a coach, an assistant ecologist to even far field up to the next level to an assistant, so a senior ecologist, for instance. So looking about the skills you need there, but also sort of the mindset you need. And I say dealing with grief and loss, and that may come from an external advisor, but there may be in-house people. They may be counsellors, for instance, within your organisation if you you work for a larger company. But if you're for a smaller company, then there may be even some sort of health package that you actually go and seek some counselling. So counselling, coaching, similarities between the two there, but it's helping you understand your own thoughts, bringing something out that you probably know really about your, just finding something information about yourself. So a coach will ask challenging questions, or maybe questions that actually you didn't realise you should ask yourself, really. So and also coaches tend to be great listeners. So mentors can also be great listeners, clearly, but mentors are there to help you solve a problem. So they will give you advice. So they're giving you the advice themselves. Whereas a coach won't necessarily give you advice. They will just help you come to your own understanding of a situation. So a mentor, as I say, it can be a problem solver, give their experience and pass that on. Whereas a coach will draw that information out from yourself. What is limiting you? What is it, those deep-rooted factors? And it can be quite emotional having a real professional coach drill down into those fears that we may have, but also realization, actually, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. Actually, I do have the skill, the confidence to actually take this forward. And by really subtle questioning, a coach is an amazing person to have around you, because they will bring out, because it's a bit like they will give you the tools. They will give you the tools. They'll raise your confidence, actually, to solve a problem yourself. So I think the difference between a coach and a mentor are quite apparent then. So I'll give you a couple of examples now of how I've used coach and mentors in my past. Now, in my early career, I didn't know what I wanted to do, or actually how to progress and where to go to for advice. And so, I probably had many mentors throughout my career, throughout my life. So they could be, your family, they could be for your friends. They will give you their advice, and hopefully it'd be impartial, it'd be honest advice as well. And but within my professional career, I've used a mentor to help me develop my own, personal my skills in terms of my ecological skills. So understanding biodiversity net gain. I'm working with a mentor now to help me understand biodiversity net gain, for instance. It's something that's new to me. We're all sort of in the same boat in terms of it is a new concept, but it's learning from people who can actually assist, and that's both externally and also internally. So within my own organisation or my own company, we have people who got far well, let's put it this way. I probably will not be practicing biodiversity net gain myself, but I need to have an understanding of it. Therefore, I'm using a mentor to actually bring that out to help me. Whereas coaches, I've used coaches probably only in the last 10, 15 years, and so a coach. I mean, I think. To find a coach, I think they would introduce you to me, and I've used a coach to actually help me with my business. So it's part of his personal development as well. So, understanding my relationships, for instance, but also a business coach to help me understand about my leadership skills, bringing out sort of the traits, my inner beliefs, my fears, how to deal with my colleagues and help my colleagues, and also about you say the leadership skills I need to run a business. So it's really helped me over the past couple of years. Then, say 10 to 15 years, I continually to use a coach. I've got a couple of coaches at the moment. I have a couple of mentors on at the moment as well. I also provide coaching. I also provide I am a mentor to other people as well. So don't think that you haven't got something to give as well. So you may be able to be coached and mentored, but equally so, you probably can coach and mentor other people yourself. So don't think that it's one or the other. But yeah, so it's helped me with, the difficult life I've had in terms of with the business, growing the business, scaling the business, me as an individual, bringing out, dealing with those confidence gremlins that we all have. So it doesn't matter how, where you are within an organization. You could just be starting out. You could be coming towards the end of your career. We all need a little bit of support. And I think that helps me. The coaching really helps sort of talk about things. I think that's part of it. As a leader, as a business owner, for instance, I'll give you my very honest insight here. It can be quite lonely. You're seen as to know everything about the business, everything about the company. They look to you for inspiration and guidance. Your colleagues do. And sometimes you may not know the answer, or actually you think, am I making the right decision? Because there's a lot of people that depend upon me. And this fear, this little confidence gremlins sit on your shoulder and thinking, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know when to do this. And I think coaching really helps bring that out. Actually take a step back, gives you some tools, techniques of actually how to deal with, self-reflection, having time to think rather than react. Are you a reactive person? So therefore you do need to take that time. How do you do that? When do you do it? And ultimately, making a decision based upon that and being comfortable with the decision you make. It may be wrong, and I've made many wrong decisions. There's quite a few things within my own life that I'm quite ashamed of, that's happened, but I can't change that. I cannot change the past. I can only change the future. So it's having that outlook on life, and coach has helped me understand those elements there. So, and also challenges in coaching and mentoring. So there are different challenges with the coaching and mentoring. So, for instance, remember going right back to the very start, the definition. It's going for mentoring here, a perceived experience, someone's more experienced than you, and also perceived experience that you are less, you have less experience than this person. So it's a perception. Now, it may be during your first stages with your mentor that you realize, oh, well, actually this person does, they know a little bit more than me, but not significantly more. How do you take that relationship forward? So a challenge for that area could be, well, how do I let actually this mentor relationship, I don't think I'm going to gain as much as I thought I was going to gain. This person may not know as much information as I thought they did. And I think that's being honest with them. They're saying, look, I think I need someone with developmental experience. Can you recommend anyone? Or, and that's not going to, I don't think that's going to impact your relationship with that mentor, because a mentor, as a mentor myself, I want to help someone. I want to help them be the best version of themselves they can. So if I can't do that, I'd want to know as a mentor straight away, Richard, thank you for your time, but I don't think you can help me with this particular skill or this particular challenge I have at this moment in time. Thank you for your time. Is there anyone that you could recommend? And I'm looking particularly for this area, within my career development. And as a mentor, I'm going to welcome that. I'm thinking, actually, do you know what? I'm not going to waste that person's time, and also, waste my own time building someone up a tiny little bit when actually they want a bigger transition, bigger, sort of impact. So I'm doing my job by actually releasing that person. But equally so, as a mentee, you need also to challenge your mentor. So don't think that because someone's offered to mentor you doesn't mean you have to stick with them. Okay, you may outgrow them, for instance. You may, once the student becomes the master, you may outgrow that mentor. So just think about that. They may be, a mentor may be with you for quite a period of time, but there may be a time when you outgrow them. Similarly with a coach, coaching can be quite personal. You can have group coaches, you can have group mentors, but most of the time, I think it's quite effective when it's a one-to-one relationship with a coach, because it can be more honest, an open relationship there. So you want to be able to trust that person. Now, that's quite important because you may be divulging information in confidentiality, full of confidence, confidentiality here, of things that you didn't realize you were going to talk about. So, for instance, you may be talking about, in an area of how to deal with a difficult client, and actually, what transpires from that conversation is actually it's not really about your communication or dealing with difficult clients. It's actually a fear, deep-rooted fear you may have within you. So sometimes it can be quite emotional experience, and a good coach, a great coach, can bring that out. It's not trying to make you fall on your knees in despair, but it's just that deep-rooted, well, do you know what? This keeps happening throughout my time, both in my, work, personal life, and it's just a coach can help you understand those deep-rooted, those deep-rooted beliefs there. Your issues with money, your issues with relationships, they all transpire into everything we do. So a coach can help bring those elements out, as well as work upon, obviously, the good stuff, the things you want to get out from that relationship in terms of, the skills and moving on. How do you become a great leader and so forth? It may actually take you right back, I say, to the really, really deep-rooted steps there. So, there are going to be challenges there. You may not find the right coach. Now, finding a coach. How do you find the right coach? As I say, with the caveat that sometimes you may have to go through 2 or more to find the right coach for you and different times of your career. So finding a coach, ask someone. ask a colleague, do you have a coach? Do you have a mentor? Who are they? What do they help you with? Do you find them useful? How often do you meet them? Is it once a week, once a month, once a quarter, once a year? Where do you meet them? Is it online? Do you go for a coffee, or where do what's the environment you meet them in, and what have they helped you with? I mean, what questions do they ask you? I mean, what do I need to bring to the party? All those different things that a colleague may be able to help you with, just to identify whether a coach or a mentor would be good for you. Now, if you are an employee, you probably do have a line manager, and they are probably going to be your mentor and may also be your coach. And but you can also ask that person, about their experiences. Where did they get their who mentors them, who coaches them? Now, if you can't find anyone, or actually there's no sort of straight answer coming from that person, or actually they don't have a coach themselves or mentor above them, and it can happen because some people are just busy doing, helping you rather than helping themselves as well. Because I think we all need, say that's an experience and help throughout our careers and life. But okay, so if you haven't got that, if you haven't got anyone to go to actually help out, reach out on to myself. I'm happy to actually put you in touch with some coaches that I know. And I say these people, the beauty about them, video conferencing using Teams, Google Hangouts, and Zoom, for instance, is that a coach can be anywhere in the world to help you at any time. Okay, so there's different organisations you can go to. Even if you just put it into a search engine, find me a coach, it will help you do that. Mentor. Obviously, within our own profession, SIAM have their own mentorship platform. So go up and sign up there if there's something specific you want there. So there's that mentor, that platform there. There are also different mental platforms. So it could be that you want to teach yourself coding. Now, clearly, SIAM isn't going to help you with that. So you may need to reach out to different areas to help you with coding, or maybe innovation, technology, the use of innovation, creativity, for instance, that problem solving. These are elements that you may need support with. Critical thinking. I'm just rambling these off at the moment, but yeah, you can see how that you may need to find an external mentor to help you with those elements, especially if you're going to bring it in to your organization. Coaching. As I say, there may be counsellors or coaching professionals within your organization if you tend to belong to a larger organization, but more than likely there aren't going to be those people. So it is actually talking to, colleagues, but also, finding things out on LinkedIn, for instance. You'll find many coaches there. Make sure they are the right one for you. So I think that's going to be quite crucial, really. Now, I think one area that one area we didn't really discuss was about the similarities and differences between coaching. I suppose, the similarities are that they can be both goal-orientated, they can be they're both relationship-based. It can be one-on-one, or it can be, you may be part of a group coaching or mentoring session itself. They will both provide feedback and guidance to you in different elements, different ways. Both coaching and mentoring involve providing feedback and guidance. So the coach or mentor can help you reflect on your performance, identify areas for improvement, and develop strategies to help you achieve, your goals, for instance. So differences, I say, it can be duration. So often it's seen that coaching is short-term and mentoring is long-term. Now, I sort of can challenge that a little bit. I say I have had a coach for many, many years, and where I've had mentors for maybe just just a couple of sessions to help me through something. So I sometimes, it depends on the element of your skill. I think the length of time you're with a coach or a mentor, I think varies. They can be short term, they can both be short term, and they can both be long term themselves. But direction, I suppose direction, coaching is generally more structured and directed by the coach. They ask you questions, but more importantly, they listen. So a good coach will actually listen to what you say, pick up on sorts of the common themes that may come from there, and challenge you on those issues, not necessarily providing you with a solution. So the solution tends to come from you if you're being coached, whereas a mentor will probably give you solutions. They're problem solvers, and they often jump in and not saying they don't listen, clearly they need to listen, but they will offer solutions up, give you advice. Now, both coaching and mentoring, it is a person's reflection of what you've told them. So a coach and a mentor can only do as much as you divulge. So I think you have to enter these relationships in honesty, so tell them exactly, there's no fear, there's no embarrassment about, I don't know the answer to that question. A coach will help you draw the answer out, whereas a mentor may say, okay, well, here's some tips. I think it will really help me. Writing down, 3 things will help, this conversation. So they may do a bit of prep work. So I think those are, some of the little challenges. Now, we're coming to the end of the conversation now. In terms of what I would advise, really, is, and this is through my own experience, social media. Now, social media can be a good thing, as we know, and can also be a bad thing. Now, I wouldn't rely on social media to be your coach, and I wouldn't rely on social media to be your mentor. Now, we've all probably experienced, posting something maybe on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram. I don't use TikTok, so I can't really talk about that at all. But in terms of asking a question and you getting some answers back, and it can be quite biased because it's especially if it's just a small sample size and you're getting 2 people coming back to you. So using social media can be quite biased. It can be quite confrontational. It may not give you the answer you're looking for. It may not solve the question you've asked itself. It may throw up a lot of different spurious answers. So don't think that social media is going to help you be a mentor or a coach. They may help find you a mentor or coach and may provide you with some insights, but be highly aware, critical, should I say, of anything that you post on social media and the answers you get back. So that's my observation, is that Facebook is probably not your friend in order to get that support network. I think you need a deeper relationship, deeper, meaningful relationship, and I don't think you can get that from social media. It has to come from someone who has got your vested interest at heart. So someone someone you like, someone you trust, and you can only build up those 3 elements by engaging in a bit of a relationship with that person. So just bear that in mind. And that goes through all the aspect, all social media platforms, not just Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and so forth, and, Instagram. So hope that's helped. I say what we've gone through today is just a sort of my experiences, looking at, defining coach and mentoring, the role of a coach and a mentor, the applications, when they can be used, when they maybe can't be used, how to choose between a coach and a mentor, and also the challenges in finding one and also working with one, and when to say yes and when to say no to a coach. And I hope that's helped. I say we'll be back in September with the next podcast, but in the meantime, thank you for listening to the Ecology Academy podcast. If you enjoy our show and want to help, then please click on the subscribe button and rate us on your favourite podcast player, as that's how you can inspire ecologists in the making, help retain great talent, and provide insights of our industry to a much wider audience of why ecology really does matter. Thank you. And remember, learning is a lifelong endeavour, so stay curious, be adventurous, and build bridges for others to cross.